see, every time I find somebody that I might ask them, I could ask them a question. And I say, hey, if you were to die today, you're sure you'd go to heaven? And if they didn't answer, just yes, you know. And then if they had said it too quick, I'd want to know how. And but I wanted them to tell me, you know, to say they were good or they were something, or you know, they helped a lot of people and they gave to the Lord. They didn't, but most of them will never tell you they tithe. I haven't had very many that ever told me they tithe. And I told them that was one of the things that God says is mine. He gave you the other, but he didn't give you his time. If you have it, you stole it. So, you know, that's the way it goes sometimes.
How many times do you think you've witnessed in your entire life?
Oh my goodness. Almost every, well, no telling how many times every day.
Wow.
Now, you know, after I became a Christian, there's so many questions I'd ask somebody else, you know. And anytime you're asking them something about the Bible or something that about why somebody would do a thing like they have done and think they could get away with it, well, I think that's witnessing too.
Hmm.
So there's just so many things and so many ways that we need to be very careful.
What are the most like memorable times in your faith? Like times you've witnessed or times you've just seen God work or something? Anything like that?
Well, I guess one of the first times I would say I remember is when Pat came home from church one day and one night, and she wanted to talk about accepting Jesus. So we sat down on her bed, and she was sitting right up in the middle of the bed, and I was sitting with my head against the foot of the bed, you know. And we sat there and talked, and I told her, I said, well, when Jesus was teaching his disciples, there was one thing he was teaching them. He says, I'm the way, the truth, and the light, and nobody gets to heaven except through me. There's just not any other way. So after we had talked about it a little while, we had a prayer and she accepted Jesus. And Corrine and Sharon both walked down an aisle on their own, you know. But we had talked about all the things that, you know, that we needed to do and what we had. And one thing, you know, lots of people say, boy, we had babysitters to take care of our kids, and, you know, time after time after time. Well, nobody took care of ours. We did. That when we went someplace, we went as a family. And, you know, in those days, you could say, now we're going in this store, and as soon as we get ready to leave, we'll go over by the door, and you can watch for that at that door, and you can go ahead and look and shop but keep an eye on the door and see if we're waiting for you. And most of the time they'd all come together. But we're not so scared of somebody molesting them then as we are today. That's not a fun thing. And some of the kinds of people that we have on the street, and they turn them loose again and again and again to do the same thing again and again and again, they'll shoot them. That would stop it. And it wouldn't take 10 people to lose their life to stop it.
True. So, what was it like as a father to watch your kids come to Christ?
Oh, goodness. That was the biggest thrill we had. And see them baptized? Oh, boy.
Do you remember the stories?
Well, it's not really as a story to think of, but I remember that they were baptized, and two of them were baptized. Maybe all three of them were baptized in the church in Barstow. See, that's where Pat was, I know, because that's where she decided she needed to make a decision. And we talked it over and told her what the Lord had to say about it. And she made a decision. And the other is a follow-through. It's just following Jesus because he was baptized in the river. So I'd say he was baptized, went under and came up. And all of these people that they show on TV that represents this, they don't necessarily get baptized.
What do you mean? You're talking about immersion?
People that are playing Christ's part, I've seen some of them that ducked their head under the water and threw their hair back, and you know, like they never got their shoulders, they were not out in the water deep enough to get their shoulders wet. But I think Jesus was baptized laid down and came up. I think he went all the way under.
You're a true Baptist.
Well, I just don't see how he could do it any other way.
Cool.
And I haven't seen anything that says they sprinkled him.
You were a deacon for a lot of your life, weren't you?
Well, I was ordained as a deacon in 53.
At what church?
It was at Service Memorial Baptist Church in.
That's where you had to stop smoking.
Huh?
Is that where you had to stop smoking?
Yeah. when I stopped smoking. Yes. And I'm thankful for it. I talked to a doctor and was talking to him. And he says, "Did you ever smoke?" I says, "Yeah." He says, "How long did you smoke?" I said, "About 20 years. And he said, "When did you quit?" I said, 1953. And he looked at me. He says, "If you've been quit that long, you in so many years, I think he said 7. In 7 years, your body renews itself.
Oh,
So,
wow.
in 7 years, you would be a new person anyway. So, every time 7 comes around, that'll be about 8 years, 8 times."
Nice. But smoking was normal back then, right?
Oh yeah, everybody smoked just about.
So what other fads were there during when you were younger or
Well, drinking was never anything for me because Dad wanted to see that I got a taste of what liquor was like, or not liquor, but beer was like. And he bought me a little shot glasses, probably just about like those little glasses there, that has pills in them, you know. He bought me one of those, and we went in a barbecue place that sold beer. And they sold beer for people as they were eating barbecue and drinking beer, you know. That was normal for everybody almost then. So he bought that little shot glass, you know. They filled, or I think the God just gave it to us. Just put it in there, and I took a taste of it. And I started spitting and gave Dad the thing, and I said, "I don't want more of that." I was used to drinking milk.
so how much did you drink after that? Or never?
None. Oh, well, once in a while I drank a beer with, like when I had the working party over at the house, getting the house ready for Jeannie and them to move to Guam. I think I drank a beer then with the boys that came over there to work. We just sat down, and they wouldn't have felt good if I hadn't started to drink one. I'm not sure how much of it I got, but I took a little bit of it. And but we wouldn't have had very many left on the. You see, we worked over there 3 days, and we wouldn't. I guess they drank one a day, and there's 3 of them came over with me, so there would have been 9 bottles taken out of the case. Oh, nearly half of the case was still left when I took it up to, so they could have a little party that evening. And they wouldn't have to pay for it.
Did you know anybody like that dressed in like the flapper style when you were younger?
Not really. We didn't. We were just in the country churches. I mean, the country schools and churches. That's the only place I went. And I don't remember any girls that were throwing themselves at somebody. Not at all.
How much were you or like your family affected by the Great Depression?
By what?
The Great Depression?
Oh, Well, in a way, we lived a Great Depression all of our lives.